let's begin from where we start. So the goal of this presentation is to provide guiding how to reduce unwanted traffic that comes from your browser. There will be a lot of the technical details, but I will try to describe this as simpler as possible. So we all know that we currently live in the age of the total digital surveillance. And in the practice, this means that every time you visit the sites and if the site is interested in the advertisement or other kind of the data collection, it generates traffics. So, and traffics is extra time at which the network equipment is working, extra time which creates extra spending for electricity and extra heat. So we want to reduce this kind of the traffic for two reasons. First, it's reduced carbon emission, and the second, well, most of us don't want to provide our data, so we don't want that somebody collects data about us. So how it looks like. There are actually many reasons why your browser can create extra traffic. So I will take this red square and show you how the traffic goes. So first thing, you may use browser from commercial organization like Chrome from Google or Safari from Apple or Edge from Microsoft or any other commercial-based browser. This means that the company interested in developing the browser as the product, and they interested in collecting telemetry and collect data about you. So when you're using commercial browsers, they actually could be free, but they are still commercial because the company is making money based on the data they're collecting about you. This browser will constantly share the telemetry about how much time you're using the browser, at what time of the day, maybe sometimes which sites you're using, etc. So browsers like Chrome have the most bad reputation about this because they collect tons of telemetry about you. So the common recommendation and the best people who you better to ask about this problem is some technical guys. It's usually people who like open source. They usually know the answers. So the answer is to, let me see, I have a lot of answers here. Yeah, open source browser. So solution for this problem is that you choose the browser that initially is open source, and the company behind this browser doesn't have a interest in collecting your data to sell it and make money. So somebody might say, okay, probably it's a Firefox. And the problem is that it's not the answer, because Firefox have kind of tricky model. They have a partnership with the Google. They getting money from making Google a default browser, and also they collecting some telemetry about users. So personally, what I'm using currently, I'm using two browsers. The browser you see on the screen calling Zen, it's a fork of the Firefox. It's have minimalistic UI, and it doesn't gather telemetry. The second browser, which is also a fork, doesn't matter. So the second browser, which is also a fork of the Firefox, and it also comes without the telemetry, called LibreWolf. It's developed by security engineers who like security privacy, so they developed a separate version of the Firefox without the telemetry at all. So by using this browser, but there are much more. So there are probably, I don't know, probably Brave. Maybe you heard about Brave. Probably Arch. Yeah, I don't know, but I personally prefer Firefox because Firefox was initially developed as the open browser, so it's easier for me to trust them. Second problem, while you browsing a lot of the sites till the so there can be 1 year from the moment when you installed your operating system computer and first launched the browser, and from this time your browser keep gathering cookies. So if you will go, I don't know, into the settings of the browser and search for cookies, so you will see some number. It could be small number like 50 megabytes, it could be maybe gigabytes, so it could be a lot. And the problem is that some sites, for example, sites with the news articles, which you visited like only one time during all of your life, and this site will place a cookie, and it can be there on your computer till the time when you throw out your computer to the trash. So the problem is that every site nowadays trying to push a little piece of the cookie, and it's increasing the amount of information that your computer storing, and it's also increasing amount of information that your browser keeps sending to the sites. All of these are cookies. So, and probably there are not so many sites where you actually need a cookie. So there are specific sites like, I don't know, your mail service or Netflix or YouTube where you need to log in and actually have an account. This is specific examples of the sites where you need a cookie. For everything else, you actually doesn't need a cookie. So what we can do, if we take, for example, the Zen browser, which I was showing to you, if you go to the settings, there is a setting, let's say delete cookies and site data when browser is closed, which means all the cookies will be deleted. But if you still need some of the sites like mail, Netflix to keep your cookies, to keep your session with the account, you can manage exceptions where you want to preserve cookies. And this will be just a tiny fraction of the data, because all of the other cookies will be deleted, and you will save a lot of the traffic and a lot of the data from your PC. In the case, if in your browsers there's no option like this, there are extensions. So there are extensions called cookie auto delete or something like this. So it could be named in similar way. So there are a lot of extensions that, sorry, not opening this one. Yeah, like this one. So you install it, you enable it, and as soon as you close the browser, it will clean all your cookie. And you can add exception as well. So you can add, for example, your Netflix or other site as exception, and it will preserve the session. And on our presentation, automatic cookie cleanup. So I'm placing this one here. It's like we removing this extra traffic. The next one, scripts. So again, we all have the sites where we want some kind of the rich experience. Again, like Netflix, mail, maybe Facebook. I don't know who is still using Facebook, but and for this rich experience, the sites need to load a script and execute them to provide you some kind of, I don't know, animations or some interactive forms and so on. But if we're talking about the sites like news articles and so on, you actually don't need a script there. And scripts in most cases for the news sites used just to run advertisement and run data collection. And what the outcome? The outcome is that it loads the scripts executes on your CPU, on your processor. It consumes extra electricity, and it produces extra heat. And also, potentially, the script can be used to add more advertisement traffic. Here. So what we want to scripts not to be loaded and executed on the sites where we actually don't need the scripts, because there are no rich experience that these sites can provide. So the most popular extension for this called no script. So it's the site noscript.net. It's available for all of the popular browsers. It's have like configuration pop-up like this. So as soon as you opening some, I don't know, let me think, translator. So this one is translator. I want script here because I want my text to be translated. I click on this extension, and there are 4 buttons: block, trust temporarily, and by default. So for this site, I click trust, which means that for this site, the scripts will be loaded and executed. But if we take, for example, some, I don't know, news site, I open yahoo.com. So here are actually, it's just an article. There are no animations, there are no extra rich experience. I just want to read this information, and I don't want any kind of the scripts to be executed and to spend extra CPU electricity. I can see that there are a lot of the scripts, and actually all of these are data collectors. Doubleclick.net, Tabuda. So all of these are data collectors. We don't want them. And it's actually very good that by default, all of the scripts are blocked. So we can use it like this. If we see that some sites can, I don't know, just show you a blank page, it may happen. It's normal because some of the sites highly relies on the scripts. In this case, we click on this extension and just enable it for this specific website. And it solves this problem. So the final problem is the sites like ad platforms that collects data about us and show advertisements. So there are 3 categories of traffic that they generate. First, there are a lot of the domains, these domains like DoubleClick, Tabula, and so on. So all of this domain, when the browser trying to resolve them, it sends a network request to domain services. So it's making a request to resolve this domain. It's one category of traffic. Then it will try to collect data about you. So it just will send some portion of data that, I don't know, you're a specific region or how you're working with the page and so on. And third kind of information is the actual advertisement media, like image or video, I don't know. So this generates a lot of traffic. So first, the most simple way to block all of this kind of the unwanted traffic is to use proper ad blocker extension. The most popular and the most recommended one is called uBlock Origin. It's I would happy to say that it's available for every major browser, but it's kind of changed months ago. because Chrome browser launched a new version which actually prevent extension like this to work properly. So I would say that this from now in the 2025 not works so well on the Chrome browsers, but actually still works pretty fine on the Firefox. So if you're using Firefox, you can install this extension, and on any kind of the site you're visiting, and now let me visit this new site on the Yahoo. You see, 23, 24. So this is the counter. It actually counts the amount of the telemetry, amount of the advertisement that sites tried to perform, and all of this is like was blocked. It's very good. If the site for some reason doesn't work correctly, sometimes there are tricky sites that says we will not show you any content till you will disable your advertisement blocking extension. So in this case, you can click disable and refresh the page. But it's not so often. So usually you want this extension to be enabled. So I would say that this solves half of the problem. So extensions are not perfect, and they can block only known like patterns. Sometimes I don't know, it's not only about advertisement, it's also about the telemetry. So telemetry could be just from some specific domain, and the extension maybe just doesn't know about this domain, so it would not block everything. So there are still a lot of the traffic that generates a telemetry. And the final part about how to actually fight all of this extra traffic, how it can be reduced. There are such a thing called a block lists. I will say maybe block list Reddit. Like this one. So you can find actually a lot of the good discussions on the Reddit community where they're discussing the best kind of the block list. So what is block list? Block list is just a list of the domains which is known for data collection, which is known for the advertisement and so on. It comes in the format like something like @clicknet, like this. What this means? In every operating system, macOS, Linux, Windows, there are a same file is called hosts. So this file, usually it's used by technical guys. It's not for the regular users to be modified. But in this specific case, it's very useful to fight this problem with the advertisement traffic. So how it works? On each line, we say that we want this specific domain not to be resolved by the global domain system. We want this to stick with this address. The address 127.0.0.1, it just means nothing. So we want this address to send traffic to nothing. So means to send traffic nowhere. It will not actually be sent on the internet. And this will actually solve our problem, because if the traffic will not be sent to the internet, means that there will be no extra carbon emission, because the traffic will now come through the network equipment on the internet outside. So the most popular block list, which I was talking about, I don't know how correctly spell it, Hajizi, something like this. So it's the community maintained block list. It's available on the GitHub. So you can just go on this GitHub page. There are an explanation how this works. So this is a list of the domains which related to a lot of the malware content. It could be fake content, advertisement content, gambling, and so on, so on. A lot of the content is actually very useful to block this content. So what you want is just to go to the hosts directory and download the biggest available collection of the domains. It's called Pro Plus Compressed, this one. Let me just show you. It looks pretty scary. So it's just the like million of different domains, and all of most of them are about advertisement, about I don't know, scam, about data collection, and all of these are extra traffic which spends electricity and produce carbon emission. So just to demonstrate, so here is the Yahoo site, and right now I doesn't have block list applied. If I refresh the page, oh wait, no, it's actually applied. Wait a second, let me cancel it. Maybe I just forgot to do this. Let me relaunch the browser. Network. So once again. Oh yeah. So right now we see how the site works without any additional blocking. So it's about 6 megabytes of the data transferred. You see? Let's try once again. Yeah, and if you scroll it even more, like 10 megabytes, 11 megabytes, 15 megabytes, 20 megabytes. So it's a lot. It's just the simple news article. There's really not a lot of the data. I will not dig deep into the details because it will be actually very hard to explain how to apply this file on the macOS. So I will just show you how this is done on Windows. I suppose most of the people have Windows. So on Windows, you just open Notepad, right-click, run as administrator, yes, open, file, you go to the C, Windows, System32, drivers, etc. Type of file, all, hosts, you take this big scary file, you paste it right here, you press save. Yeah, and if we try to open the same page, let's see how much it's changed. So you can see that in the network there are started to be a lot of the red rows of the text, and this is the traffic that was actually blocked. And while I'm scrolling this page, you remember that there was a 20 megabytes of traffic. So right now it's only 2. It's 10 times less traffic with this block list applied. And this was the last part.